In the UK, we rely heavily on energy imports to provide the average person with the power that they require. For every 3 units of energy produced in the UK, 4 are consumed. This has led to our reliance on imported energy, and we are therefore susceptible to a wider range of issues that can drive prices even higher. Energy and energy efficiency will be a key issue this century as governments rally to reduce carbon emissions and individuals rally to pay smaller energy bills. Both goals are attainable, and the Energy Saving Trust is an independent, not-for-profit organisation working to make energy saving easy for all of us.
I would like to see every home in the UK being a low-carbon home, so to reducing the amount of carbon emissions that it produces and also having as low energy bills as possible to make it easier for the householder.
Our aim for energy use is to achieve a dramatic reduction. How we will achieve that is open to interpretation by every person in the UK and indeed the world. This is not simply an environmental issue, but also a financial one. The vast majority of people waste energy every single day, through a mixture of bad habits, inefficient appliances and inefficiently designed homes. The future of energy use should be about reducing waste and not restricting use, because the easiest energy to save is the wasted energy, the energy that we don't need. Logwise offer a purpose-built home that is designed specifically for comfort and energy efficiency.
A Honka home is basically a very sustainable way of building using solid timber, solid logs. It's technology that's been around for hundreds of years. It comes from Scandinavia. The Finns actually introduced it to the Canadians. A lot of people think it originated in Canada, but it actually originated in Finland. Honka themselves are the oldest established and the largest company in the world. They've been trading since 1958. And produced in excess of 80,000 houses and buildings which have been shipped to over 40 countries worldwide.
Honka are probably the pioneers of log manufactured buildings the world over. And they 5 brothers started the company up in the early 60s. Over the years, Honka expanded little by little, firstly in their home market, and then gradually got into export market. And since then, they've spent a lot of money on research and development. They've built some 80,000 buildings around the world, in 40 countries around the world. And they're renowned for the quality of the product. And we're delighted to be working with them.
Like I say, Logwise do all the design work in the UK. So when a customer comes to us, they may want a holiday chalet, a house. It could be buildings for a golf course, for instance. Leisure industry is quite a big market for us. We will create a design which is individual for them. The idea is that we design a building which is unique and it's exactly what the customer wants without any compromise at all.
My wife and I were looking for somewhere to live out in the country, and we decided to check out this house that was over the other side of the back end of Beyond. And we drove past this site and saw that there was a for sale sign, and we just phoned up Richard. We met him, and he sold us the idea essentially. He just talked us through the idea of the wooden house, how it was going to be very thermically efficient and cheap to run, cheap to insulate, that sort of thing. And we thought, well, yeah, sounds great.
Building with timber is a proven technology. It's been around for hundreds of years. And today we understand a lot more about how timber buildings work. So living in a log home, the advantages are the breathability of the logs. They actually filter the air and they regulate the humidity in the building. So when humidity levels rise, they're absorbed into the log walls. When the humidity level drops again, that's released back out into the building. So the humidity level stays at a constant level throughout the year, which gives a very comfortable atmosphere to live in. And it also means that you don't get mold spores growing. So for asthmatics like myself, people with breathing difficulties, it's proven to improve their quality of life. Also, the actual method of construction with timber, the production of timber, is very energy efficient. It takes less energy to process it because it's easier to process, basically, and there's less processes to go through. So actually machining a piece of wood, it can be done in 2 or 3 processes to a finished product, using far less energy than if you were producing steel girders, for instance, or bricks. The timber itself comes from probably the best growing area in Europe, the northern belt of Finland. What it means is that the timber grows very straight, and because it's so cold in Finland, it grows very, very slowly. So the timber is very dense. And although we're using a softwood, we use pine for the logs, they're actually comparable to a hardwood. It's very, very strong.
Because of the denseness, a lot of people will be concerned about fire in timber buildings. Honka have done a lot of work on wood, in a lot of research into wood, and one of the things which has come out is that an average log will not burn for somewhere in the region of 120, 130 minutes. So although we all burn logs, the actual log construction in a log house is very, very safe.
Honka use an eco-friendly glue to laminate their logs. It's a glue that's been developed over a number of years to ensure that it's not going to be harmful to the environment in any way.
When it comes to energy saving, the first thing to think about is that actually the day that you order a Honka house or a log house, that immediately triggers a positive effect in terms of carbon footprint around the world. Because Honka have a policy to, whenever they cut a tree down, they replace it with 2. They've been doing this for a long time. Honka have also located their factories close to the source of timber in the forests in Finland. And so, again, there's a tangible saving in terms of transport, haulage and emissions into the atmosphere by dint of the fact that the manufacturing is done so close to the supply.
Modern homes are now designed without fireplaces because central heating is a far more efficient and effective way of heating a home. However, new technology from Landivent has managed to combine the best elements of central heating with the homely appeal of a fireplace to create a product that will efficiently heat any home.
Landivent UK was formed in 1998. Being involved in chimney lining and wood burning stoves for, well, to date 28 years, we were looking for a product that had a longer life expectancy in the marketplace than did at that time, and perhaps still do, flue lining systems that are used to renovate chimneys in both old housing stock and new housing stock. We've produced the Eco Stove out of ceramic materials to give a higher efficiency in combustion because of the nature of what the product does, but also fuel cost savings and a lower carbon output to atmosphere. A lot of people want to spread the risk with fuel resources, as a result of which we've got a product in the Eco Stove that can not only help to spread the risk, but also take over the whole house heating so that the liquefied fuel or the fossil fuel that they're using can become a backup to the wood log system that we've produced to heat the whole house, rather than just heat a room within the house and have to rely on the rest of the fossil fuel system to do the rest of the job. We've run out of, as I understand, our own natural gas primarily. We're importing that. Of course, we import our own oil, and at the hands of those that choose to charge whatever prices they feel they can charge at the time. Any wood stove, and the Eco Stove no differently, you have to put fuel onto it to get heat out of it. But given that you're prepared to do so, the benefits are absolutely enormous. Totally carbon free because the fuel is renewable. It's a fuel that doesn't have to go through a processing system, so you're not using energy to produce a fuel to burn on your fire. Yeah, it's got to be cut down, admittedly, and yes, it's got to be split. But it can be regrown, and typically over a 20-25 year period you can have a new silver birch forest. If you leave a tree rotting for 5 years, it puts more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere than does it being burned on the Eco Stove. So it's a wholly renewable fuel source with low energy input to produce it. and at low cost.
The energy-efficient home of the future won't look that different from the inefficient home of today. But beneath the surface will be technology and design that will help the UK to become one of the most energy-efficient countries in the world. Join us after the break to find out more information about the latest breakthroughs in energy efficiency.
Logwise Limited is the UK's sole importer for Honka log homes from Finland, the world leader in log home production. With sustainability and energy efficiency the buzzwords of today, Logwise offer a home building solution tested around the world and established in the coldest of climates. Log homes are warm and inviting, and being energy efficient save money on heating bills. An environmentally conscious solution, log homes naturally improve the quality of life, providing a unique, calm environment with optimal humidity levels. Research indicates that log homes assist those with breathing difficulties, such as asthma, promoting well-being. Wood is a natural, renewable resource, and Honka homes lock carbon in the logs for centuries, reducing the effects of global warming. For commercial buildings, traditional chalets, or contemporary modern homes, through our countrywide network of agents, we can turn your dreams into reality with bespoke log buildings from Logwise.
EcoStove is an innovative new concept in wood-burning technology for whole house heating. Rather than simply heating a room using silicon carbide energy-efficient combustion and even heat distribution throughout the house. The EcoStove is 100% British made and can be used as a slow heat release appliance or as a traditional stove. It's constructed using silicon carbide blocks which absorb heat readily, then release it slowly. The EcoStove has an 85.3% efficiency rating and still emits 25% of stored heat 7 hours after firing. It heats a much larger area than a conventional stove, emitting heat evenly and more gently than traditional materials, and is capable of whole house heating. For more information about the EcoStove, go to www.landevent.co.uk, then follow the link to EcoStove.
EcoFlap, part of a whole letterbox system, is a draft stopper for your existing letterbox. Fitted on the inside of your door, it'll stop drafts but not your mail. Has no springs or brushes, in fact nothing to trap the mail. It uses gravity and any wind to keep shut, and won't blow open even in strong gales. The automatic adjustable opening enables up to a Yellow Pages directory and A4 in width to be delivered, plus retrofits a very small letterbox to just over the standard size. Stop sneaky letterbox drafts filtering through. These not only attack you, but also a nearby thermostat. This'll kick your boiler into action and unnecessarily raise your house temperature, which you'll be paying for. EcoFlap will save you energy costs, fits easily, giving effective immediate benefit at no expense of changing your complete letterbox system. Logwise Limited is the UK's sole importer for Honka log homes from Finland, the world leader in log home production. With sustainability and energy efficiency the buzzwords of today, Logwise offer a home building solution tested around the world and established in the coldest of climates. Log homes are warm and inviting, and being energy efficient save money on heating bills. An environmentally conscious solution, log homes naturally improve the quality of life, providing a unique, calm environment with optimal humidity levels. Research indicates that log homes assist those with breathing difficulties, such as asthma, promoting well-being. Wood is a natural, renewable resource, and Honka homes lock carbon in the logs for centuries, reducing the effects of global warming. For commercial buildings, traditional chalets, or contemporary modern homes, through our countrywide network of agents, we can turn your dreams into reality with bespoke log buildings from Logwise.
An energy-efficient home will be more comfortable than what came before. It will be heated quicker and more effectively. Our gadgets can be enjoyed and our clothes and dishes will be cleaned even better than before, but there will be one crucial change: lower energy bills.
You can purchase fuel directly from forestry commissions You've then got to process that fuel yourself or employ someone to process it. But typically we can run our house, which would cost us around about £1,600 or £1,800 a year on oil. We will run it for around about £250 to £300 with the EcoStove. The EcoStove is a product made from an innovative material. It's silicon carbide. Due to silicon carbide, we reach a tremendously high combustion temperature within the firebox. That's important. It doesn't seem as though, well, so what? What the heck does that matter? If, as we do, reach 900 to 1,000 degrees in the combustion chamber, the volatile gases that are driven off the wood logs in combustion reburn in the fire chamber so that they don't get emitted to atmosphere and pollute the atmosphere. Birmingham University at the moment are in the throes of making a study of it to quantify how the silicon carbide that the appliance is constructed from produces its heat waves to heat a house evenly. The heat from the stove, providing the doors are left open in the house, will give a room temperature in front of the stove, typically where I'm sat at the moment, of about 25 degrees. And 4 or 5 rooms away will be no less than 4 or 5 degrees less in temperature than me sat in front of the appliance. It's an even temperature through the house, but doesn't need any mechanical assistance, doesn't need plumbing into water supplies, central heating systems, ducting. It simply moves because of the low frequency heat waves that silicon carbide produces. The product is totally manufactured in the UK. The silicon carbide parts are made in Staffordshire and Leicestershire. The aluminium parts are all constructed in Warwickshire. The only single part that isn't UK made is the door glass. But that, I think, being such a small part of the appliance, I think we can truly call it a UK product. The smallest version weighs some half a tonne. The next version along the line weighs nearly 3/4 of a tonne, so it's a product that isn't just shipped into the house on a trolley in one piece. They're designed so that they're section built. 8 to 9 pieces between the models so that they can all be brought in separate pieces and assembled in the home. Typical build time is to fit all of the pieces together around about an hour to 2 hours, depends on how used the person is to building the appliance. Servicing of the appliance is relatively straightforward. There are flueways built, channels built within the appliance that do need brushing out perhaps twice a year to brush any debris that might accumulate in them from the amount of fuel you combust. But there are plugs on the side of the stove that you simply remove, push a brush through the appliance and then vacuum out at the bottom of it. Because of the nature of the construction of the product, silicon carbide is almost indestructible. I'll qualify that, it changes its chemical composition and formation at 2,200 degrees. We are running at some 1,000 degrees or maybe 1,100 degrees in the fire chamber. We're not going to harm it. So the warranty on the product is for, we think is generous, of a 10-year period. We know that it's going to go on for as long as you want to burn a fire in it.
The impetus for our economy is on green technology. That means huge potential for every home in the UK, even those homes that have not yet been built, such as those offered by Logwise.
There are so many ways now, there are so many products out there now for customers to use in order to reduce their energy, from the basic light bulb, for instance, to the insulation they choose for their homes, be it a log house, be it any type of home. In our houses, we actually use a breathable insulation material, something like Warmcell, which is reconstituted recycled paper. It's important for us so that our log walls can breathe, but these products are out there for anybody to use. We intend to put underfloor heating into our homes, and if you put together an underfloor heating system with perhaps a pellet boiler, you can have a 4 or 5 bedroom house running on maybe 4.5 to 5 tons of pellets in a whole year, which might be costing £600, and that will keep your house with hot water and heating throughout the year.
The underfloor heating on the ground floor, every room theoretically has its own circuit, so it can be controlled thermostatically, but there's also a couple of master thermostats to control the general house in total, so if it ever reaches a temperature, it just shuts everything down. So that saves energy and power and money and all the rest of it.
I specialise in renewable heating sources. Predominantly, I install and commission biomass systems and solar thermal systems. They're not the only option available. There's air source heat pumps and ground source heat pumps and mini combined heat and power units. But I feel at a technological point of view that wood provides an excellent form of heating, and with wood pellet you can do this, and then in the summertime you can use the sun's energy to generate the hot water requirements for the property.
This is the pellet that is used within the boiler. The wood has a really low moisture content of less than 10% and a bulk density of 650 kilograms per cubic metre, which means that it doesn't need to take up a great deal of space in the storage.
If you look out the window and see the snow, I cannot complain that we've been cold at all. It's very warm. It runs on a slightly different system, which takes a little bit of getting used to, and we're not fully au fait with it just yet. But it runs on an ambient temperature rather than a normal, say, gas-fired system where you come on, turn it on, and then 10 minutes later you have heat. This takes a little bit longer to get going, but it's designed to retain a certain ambient temperature. I think it's about 15 degrees, and then over and above that you just top it up. But it is a gradual process.
The principle, from our perspective, from the Logwise perspective, the principal way in which a customer can reduce their energy consumption is probably initially in selecting a log house, and that's where we come in. But with all our projects, we do almost inevitably end up working with renewable energy consultants, because virtually every customer of ours is definitely interested in taking the sustainable ecological theme right through the process. So whilst we are not experts in renewable energies, we end up designing in the sort of systems which our customers are looking for.
I think they did some kind of thermal analysis and seemed to think that it would cost probably between £500–700 a year to heat, which is quite frankly staggering, because it's not just the heating, it's the hot water as well. So the only thing we're beholden to is the national grid for the electricity. But we're thinking, I think it would be a good idea to get a turbine or some kind of alternative electricity generator as well, because that would be fantastic. Because we've got great plans for the rest of the area around the house, but we're way off it yet, unfortunately. It's a good looking house, and it feels solid, it looks solid. Well, what can you say really? It just works.
The good news is that domestic energy use is now declining. The last couple of years have seen a small downward shift, and we can thank new technologies and our own greater awareness of how to avoid energy wastage. The goal is to continue this downward trend and to increase the speed of it. The Energy Saving Trust can provide advice that is specific to your situation and will do so free of charge.
So the best place to start out about finding what you can do to be more energy efficient, go to the Energy Saving Trust website, energysavingtrust.org.uk. There's loads of information on there, but also loads of interactive tools, so things that ask you questions about how you live your life, what your home's like. You can calculate your own carbon footprint on there to give you a starting point. How much do I use at the moment? And then it can help you figure out how to reduce that by different things that you can do around the home, and how much actually energy and carbon that's going to help you to reduce.
My top tips for saving energy are: number one, insulation. Make sure your walls and your loft are properly insulated. Secondly, get to understand your heating controls. Just turning your thermostat down by 1 degree can save you about £50 over the year. Next, appliances. Always choose Energy Saving Trust recommended when you can. They'll reduce the running costs and the systems will work just as well. And finally, once you've done all of that, you can look at generating your own heat or electricity with renewable energy sources.
There's loads of things that everybody can do, really small things that everybody can do in their day-to-day lives to help save energy around the home. Really simple things, and it's behavioural stuff. It doesn't really involve you having to spend any money to do this. Things like turning off the lights when you're not in the room. Simple stuff. Washing when you're doing your washing at 30 or 40 degrees instead of up at 60, 70, 80 degrees. All detergents are pretty much out there now, designed to work at that temperature. Mobile phone chargers. When you've finished charging up your phone, actually unplug it from the wall or switch it off at the wall, and not just leaving the plug just sat in there. All these simple things do add up and do make a big difference if everybody started doing it.
Despite the increase in insulation and improvements in the efficiency of boilers, it has been space heating that has probably caused the biggest rise in energy use. This is because of one major factor: a dramatic increase in the average internal temperature of homes. We expect our homes to be comfortable and not a source of worry. We expect to be able to escape from the hustle and bustle outside to somewhere that we can relax. Unfortunately, all of this comfort has led to financial sacrifices, and it is time for a change. Lighting, fridges and ovens all use half the energy that they did 20 years ago, and are now even more effective. Even greater savings are available all around your home. It's time to start saving energy and saving money.